Well, generally speaking, the good run continues here at Southend United. We're chasing a first domestic trophy and we've got a Carabao Cup Quarter Final today. But then it's all action back to the Premier League, where for the first time we could be really having a go at the Champions League places. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 85 of Saving Southend with me, Daniel. We are back today in a very good third place in the Premier League as we look ahead to a Carabao Cup Quarter Final and a big game away at Sheffield United, who started poorly but are starting to pick up now. We've also got a battle for Europe on. A few of the big boys started very badly. You can see the likes of City, Arsenal, Liverpool, even Spurs and Chelsea further down, starting to fly up the table. How long is it before they go on a run, and will we be able to hold them off with, to some of them now, an 11 and 14 point advantage? Well, hopefully you're looking forward to finding out the answer. If you're looking forward to this episode, chuck a thumbs up on it as we go towards a festive period where after this week we've got pretty winnable games, but they're all coming in quick succession, which is a test for the squad. We've had Joe Wills out, we've had Sam Ammo out. We actually had one game where we picked up 4 injuries, but despite that, we've been doing pretty well and taking advantage of a relatively friendly spell on paper. You were with me for that big draw on Manchester City as we kept our league unbeaten run going. We did though lose at Bayern Munich narrowly with our backup team, but it paid off at the weekend because a fully fit team beat Fulham 3-1. Mauricio, Joe Wills and Takat Zuka with a penalty as De Angelis picked up a knock. The big surprise was probably the 2-0 win at Everton after the international break, a side we've really struggled with away from home. Probably the side in terms of head-to-head that have got one of the best records against us. But Herbert and Ivanov put us 2-0 up in the first half, and then Jude Sadler was brilliant in the second. Against Dinamo Kiev, we continued their trend for pretty awful goal difference and results in the Champions League. A 9-0 victory, I think a record for this save, beating the 8 against Besiktas in the Europa League last year. Veranda, 2 for Takatsuka, 2 for Jensen, and then 1 apiece for Harrison, for Mauricio, for Parker and for Sam Ammo. It was followed though by a 1-0 defeat at home to Newcastle with Jamie Donnelly, a star from last year when we were over in Northern Ireland with Lisbon Distillery and of Northern Ireland of course. He got the winner against us this time as Newcastle proved just too strong. We did bounce back though in the midweek against Norwich, an own goal and a Teddy Ivanov opener enough for us. But as you can see there, 4 injuries. Joe Wills hasn't played since. Ivanov's been 1 in, 1 out. Memic hasn't played since. And Cameron Ishmael hasn't been fully fit since. Against Brighton, we nicked a 2-1 win at the weekend. De Angelis got the opener. O'Day scored a header. It wasn't a vintage performance, let's put it that way. But the reserve side got the job done against Besiktas with a 4-0 win. 3 for Mauricio and an own goal. He's having a really good season, the Brazilian, finally starting to come to the fore. Against West Ham, we won 2-0 at the weekend. Peter Bernberg and Teddy Ivanov with the goals there. Overall, it's been a really good run. And you look at our games for the rest of this month after Chelsea, and on paper, we're playing sides in the bottom half of the division in 16th, 14th, 20th and 15th. You can't ask for a lot more. January looks a lot more difficult, Leipzig and Juve in a Champions League, but we're already virtually through, so we can rest people for them. We've also, though, got Liverpool, United, Chelsea and Arsenal all in the space of a month in the Premier League. It doesn't look much better in February either, with Villa, Spurs and Manchester City. So we've got to take advantage, I feel, this month because sides will start to catch us as the year goes on. And if we are in a really great position, it allows us to prioritise both the Carabao and the FA Cup. Now, we're going to do it today. I'm going to be half willing to sacrifice the Sheffield United game to make sure we win this quarter final. I want silverware and I want to see if we can get there. I want us to get the winner of West Ham Wolves in the semi-final as well if we get there, but we'll see if that comes along. Let's get through the tactical meeting. It's a very good Chelsea side. Gio Reyna behind Makoko up front. You've still got a couple of originals, but not many playing today. Lunin in goal leads no introduction after the Champions League in real life. And João Neves is still going in the middle. But otherwise, a few good youngsters again. A bit of a blend of youth and experience. Let's get through to the team selection because this is what played in midweek. You can see Joe Wills is almost back. Bernberg and Memic not quite fit. a little bit tight, isn't it? There's a few players that aren't quite there. And as a result, I think we might have to stick with a pretty similar team, all of which have a heavy match load. So that will mean Berek covering in midfield, Mauricio playing up front, though him and Ivanov both on 14 for the season already. Baranda has really taken his chance at right back to come back into the team. De Angelis, the new boy on the left, doing well as well. So we're going to stick with this 11. It's Jude Sadler in goal. Baranda and De Angelis, the fullbacks, with O'Day and Herbert centre-half. Yucolano starting back-to-back games for the first time since his injury, with Adamson over on the other wing. Then Berek and Jimenez, the midfield two, with Ivanov and Mauricio up front. We've got a strong bench, we've got quality if we need it. Whether or not he can deliver today with a heavy match load, I'm not sure. But as many as need be can have a rest on Saturday. And I'll risk a league result here to make sure we get to the semi-final. Let's go and see if we can do it. If you remember the episode where we had deadline day, Chelsea played us off the park in the Premier League, but we found a way to win. And that's going to be the crucial bit here in cup football as well. Gennaro Gattuso's side, well, they're going to try and stop us, but we want to pick up where we left off. We've had a few really good performances, albeit against lesser teams recently. And now I need a big one against one of the big boys of English football. Chelsea, the visitors at Steve Tilson Park. With 5 gone, we've had the first shot on target. But can we be the aggressors and get that first goal? Well, 20 minutes on the clock. We're back on the left-hand side as De Angelis goes on a mazy run, which Giovanni Reina does enough with, into the back post to Ivanov, and away as far as Baranda. Slide-in challenge, falls for Yucolano. If we'd done that, I would have bet it was a penalty. Jimenez in, no. Adamson back stick. Hasn't scored for the club yet. And Ryan Adamson has had his big moment. First goal for Southend. He's picked up a few assists and better performances recently. To go with his 5 assists, though, he's now got a goal. The model citizen is improving on and off the pitch, and he's still got big potential to run into, and he's clearly got a big moment in him. Chelsea are behind at Southend United. We've been good value so far, as Adamson, the danger again. Ivanov to Mauricio, really clever reverse pass. And it's a great save by the keeper. I still maintain that Mauricio, despite his brilliant goal record this year, does miss a few silly chances on the floor. That one you probably have to credit the keeper a bit more than that, but it's still frustrating compared to Joe Wills, who just seems to take 8 or 9 out of 10. As Abdullahi gets it into João Neves, wide to Antunes and now Reina. Will that miss be costly? Because it should have been 2, but Herbert steps in well. Amazed he's not got in the England squad yet. He's been so brilliant for us. As Jimenez brings it over halfway and goes wide to Yucolano. Takes on his man, but he's going to be beaten there. You see the winger going all the way back to support his fullback. Hopefully that will harm his legs later on. As Longley goes across to his centre-half. João Neves into midfield. Reina with the counter. Long old highlight this, and Chelsea now on the attack. Think we're going to see something here. Fremura on the right, back to Xhaka. Carries it forward, again to the winger. Takes on his fullback De Angelis, beats him to the byline. Defender doesn't get there. Neves across goal. It deflects to Makoko. And it's 1-1. Our defensive record tested again. That one a little unfortunate with a deflection, but we're just not good enough at the back. We're not consistent enough yet. And despite dominating the game, Chelsea score with their first shot, which just sums up our season at times. But in the other tie, West Ham are doing a job on Wolves. They're 3 up at half-time, so we know who's going to the semis there. The picture's not quite so clear here, though. It's 0-0 at the break. I want to tell the lads to prove a point, which gets a few of them motivated. You can see Mauricio and Yucolano both struggling a bit physically. Both struggling with performance at as well. We've only got the old boy Joe Hugel on the bench, though. And on the right, it's going to have to be Takatsuka. An hour gone. Let's make those changes. So Joe Hugel, or do I go Jensen? Jensen is the better player now, but Joe Hugel is the big game man. We know he always delivers. No goal this year yet. Jensen has popped up with 2 in the Champions League and 3 in the Carabao Cup. So I think that's the cue to go for Rasmus Jensen. We're also going to bring Yucolano off for Takatsuka. Adamson's a bit fatigued as well, but we'll leave him for now because he's playing well. Ishmael will come on for De Angelis, who struggled. And we'll leave the last 2 a few more minutes. But not really got the natural replacements in certain positions as Chelsea come forward again. Might be forced into more now because Makoko's just scored. Adamson's going to come off. Sam Amo's not there, but Adozie is. And then the other sub. My options are Berek for Harrison. or Baranda for Asensio, and I think I'm going to do the latter. Let's get 2 new fullbacks on. Our wide area is so important. So 4 fresh players out there. Now let's encourage the boys, because this has been a collapse as Asensio throwing the right to Takatsuka. You know we love a late goal, and Takatsuka keeps in for Ivanov. Got to be a penalty. He got there first. Nicked the ball away. Got clipped by the player. Has to be a spot kick for 2-2. It is. Penalty awarded by VAR. A quarter of the game to go. Teddy Ivanov steps up. He's been scoring goals for fun this year. But on paper, he's not the best penalty taker in the world. Oh, that's cheeky. He's gone for the Panenka, and he could have looked very stupid. But Lunin dives out the way. Doesn't do what he did to Bernardo Silva in real life. And Teddy Ivanov gets away with it. We're back on terms. By the way, deservedly so from our performance. But it comes down to the same question. Can we outscore the opposition? Because we're creating bundles of chances, but every time Chelsea attack, it looks like they're going to score. They've had 2 shots on target and scored them both. Are they going to make it 3 here? Oh, it's so unlucky again. The shot deflects right to Neves. I mean, there is a little bit of misfortune about a couple of these goals, aren't there? We've been such the dominant team. Come on, lads. Get yourselves up. You're 3-2 down. You've been brilliant all game. Let's go positive. Let's push forward. We're going to have to go attacking because there's only 2 minutes left. As we go into stoppage time, we'll be hoping for a fair few minutes. I'm not sure we're going to get it, though. Jacko inside to Longley. Nicked by Berek. It's a 2-on-2. Ivanov has Jensen. Oh, it's not a great pass. Ivanov's offside. What are you doing? Waste of a great opportunity. Should have gone for Hugill. Stick with a principle from the Europa League final. It's going to cost us a Carabao Cup place, I think. The best we can hope for now is an equaliser and penalties, but I'm not sure it's coming. And again, in those big cup games, just not quite happening for us. And in a game where we've had so many chances, to only score 2 is annoying. As Lunin goes wide to Vanderson. Is that where we miss Wills? Is that where we miss a fit Mauricio? Because we're down to 4th and 5th choice striker, and that doesn't help. As João Neves carries it forward. The knock-on effect for the weekend is a worry as well. Perez in to make it 4. We had to chase it, and that is the implication. Chelsea are through. Ivanov, Jimenez, Berek, surely not going to make the weekend. Now we turn our attention to Sheffield United. We're progressing. We're a lot closer in these big games. But we knew it was going to be a tough one. We're beaten at home for the 2nd time in 3 matches. And I'm not pleased with that result. I will be pleased if we bounce back against Sheffield United, though. Because qualifying for the Champions League in successive years and doing it via the league for the first time would be a really big achievement. And the next 4 or 5 games are going to play a big factor in that. Well, fitness test time ahead of a game. I've got to be honest, I'm a little bit worried about because Sheffield United have got the sort of team that can threaten us. I'm not sure if our head-to-head record's brilliant against them. No, it's not. 2 draws, 2 defeats and a win in the last 5. Nick Montgomery doing a decent job there. If we go back to have a look at those fitness tests though, Yokolano should be alright. Rasmus Jensen, not sure I want him after midweek. And Sadler okay as well. We are getting close to that moment where we have to think, are we contenders for the top 4? Well, this sort of game decides it. Will we slip up after a disappointing midweek? They've got Paul Vanner in midfield, a player we know very well from our head coach save at the minute. Not quite as good here, but not a million miles off. He's an excellent player, and it just shows you the standard of team they've got. They've got Curtis Jones, Jeremy Doku, Amad Diallo, basically all the brilliant youngsters at the start of the game they've been hoarding. And they've got them now sort of entering their peak, and they're becoming a good Premier League side, albeit after a disappointing start this season. They've been in Europe before in this save. They've done what we've done the last couple of years, been that team that have overachieved. So let's see if they can do it today. The bad news for us, Teddy Ivanov, we got a warning about fatigue. Was going to rest him, but then Mauricio got a hernia for 5 weeks as well. Joe Wills is not back, so we are down now to Hugill, Ivanov and Jensen. I'm going to start Hugill this time because Jensen let me down at in the midweek game. We've also got to make decisions out wide because yes, Yokolano is fit, but Takatsuka has been better recently, so he comes in. In defence, I'm not sure what to do at centre-half. I genuinely don't know what the answer is. Bernberg is back, which is great news. Allows us to rest one of the midfielders. Berek will stay on the bench. Memic is back as a right back, but Baranda's playing really well, so he'll probably just go on the bench as well. Then I wonder if maybe I leave one of the heavy match loads off the bench and go for somebody else instead. I'm not sure what the right answer is on that front. The fullbacks are playing well. The centre-halves are not great, but there's very little I can do about that at the moment. And we're being tested in certain areas of the squad. With Sam Ammo missing, with 2 big strikers out, it's not going to be easy. But I'm not going to go silly with the changes. We've only got 3 days before the next game, but that's at home to Brentford. And I feel we can rest a few more there. So Takatsuka's in, Bernberg's in, Hugill enforced. Well, I think that's it. 3 changes from the disappointing midweek. Can we bounce back at Sheffield United, or will our defence get done? I've stuck with O'Day because he's quicker, and I'm hoping that that will pay off. So here we go. Sheffield United make 4 changes. Wanner is one of those to come in. On the bench, no familiar names really. Abdullah Bar and Ray are known names, but no one that was originally here at Sheffield United. So let's get through the dressing room. Prove a point, boys. I need something in the first half. Basically, I need Joe Hugill to roll back the years and produce some magic. If you want to perform like you did off the bench in the Europa League final, I'd certainly take that for an hour or so today. Southampton beating Everton, who are really struggling this year, and we probably do need a couple of the big boys of recent seasons to have a bad year. But we need to find a way as well. And this game, we've not started great. We've still got that Sadler unhappiness. There's still those links with Saudi. I just can't find another goalkeeper, or I would sell him, because it's definitely affecting us, that morale problem. As Ahmad comes down the right for Sheffield United, they're just one of those teams that are all physicality, and it's a big worry for me. Miranda's been beaten. Zagara in. There's Ralston. It's 1-0. It was always going to be a nightmare week. And this is why I show you these games. City and Bayern last time. Chelsea in the quarter final, and this one. I know when there's going to be difficulty. And at the moment, this would then make it 3 defeats in 6. And yes, we've got a couple of easy games over the festive period. I say easy on paper. But January's a nightmare. And if we go in this form and with a few injuries, it could be an absolute disaster. And we could start sinking like a stone. As Hugill finds De Angelis. Down the left he goes. Looks for Adamson, who had a good game in midweek. Great ball there. Look who it is. First goal of the season for Super Joe Hugill. Second start, first goal. Why do I ever doubt him? And why didn't I bring him on in midweek? That decision will come back to haunt me. This time, we've done what Chelsea did to us. Half an hour of being battered. We score with our first shot. And now we're back in the game thanks to Super Joe. He wants to leave because he's not getting much football. That might change over this festive period. As Takatsuka into Jimenez. Wanner's fouled him there. Looked harsh, but he didn't get anything on the ball. You can see where it went. Knowing VAR, they won't give this one because the ball hasn't been won. Penalty awarded. It should be Teddy Ivanov. He went for the Panenka midweek. He's not had a great game today, and he's knackered. Please don't Panenka again. He doesn't. He curls it composed into the corner. And we lead 2-1. We turn it around. And at half-time, we do not deserve to be ahead. But we are. And that is all that matters. There's your match stats for the game. 3 shots for us. Sheffield United have had 8. They've had more of the corners, more of the territory. But we've had a bit more possession. And we've definitely had the more ruthless edge. Into the second half. Worried about Bernberg on a yellow. But Jimenez is the one who needs a rest. So probably got to be careful. Can we get another goal up so Ivanov can come off? At the moment, he's our primary goal threat. And Takatsuka again. Whoever starts out there, just not having a good time at the minute. So with 65 gone, we're going to make a few changes. De Angelis will be replaced by Ishmael. We're going to bring Takatsuka off for Yukalano. Harrison will come on for Jimenez with Bernberg switching over. And I'm going to leave the last 2, but I do worry that we're going to have to make that other change in the middle just because of the yellow. We'll probably have to look at Baranda as well. Adamson struggling on the left-hand side as Baranda gives the ball away again. And Teddy Ivanov then, is he going to get to come off? Doesn't look like it, does it? This is the problem playing every 3 days. But if I don't take Ivanov off here, who's going to play on Tuesday? As Adamson goes on a run. Good effort just over. Big chance for him there. Bernberg's now struggling as well. I'm going to have to do those 2. We need legs in the middle. Bernberg will switch with Harrison. We'll bring on Berek in midfield. We'll bring a Dozy on the left. We're very much down to the third choice in certain positions here. Oh, right after the subs. Right after the subs, we get the injury. How's your luck, man? Is the 5th sub made? Oh, I don't think they were done. I don't think they were done. Right, I think we've got away with it. It's saying only 4 changes there. I'm not sure why the Adozi one is done. So let's see if we can get that back. Right. Adozi then will come on for Yukalano. Adamson will have to stay on and switch to the right. And then Bernberg will come off for Berek. We've just about got away with it. It was before the injury. And with 10 minutes to go, we're still just about on top and with 11 men. We've restricted Sheffield United second half, but they're coming forward late on and they will push men at us here. 5 to go. They're dominating down the wing. Good ball in. Headed away well by Herbert. Harrison flicks on for Ivanov. Can we counter? Down the line, he's going to have the runner in Adamson. Ivanov goes alone though. Got to find the pass. It's inside to Harrison. Through to Adamson on the right now. His shot just wide. 4+ stoppages to go. A lot of players running on empty here. And with 6 minutes added on, you can't blame me. The time wasting, the defensive style is coming. It's a big game to win this. Fullbacks on defend. Wingers on support. Harrison, you just be another deep line playmaker, mate. No worries about going forward. Joe Hugill might be the match winner. We're going to time waste all the time. We're going to play for set pieces. We'll get the short set piece routine on. Slow the pace down. Drop the line of engagement. And try and cling on for 3 precious points. What have we got here? We have got a throw in for Sheffield United. Doesn't look good. Into the front post. Ray. Well done, O'Day. Brilliant tackle. He's coming to life now. What the hell's that, though? Adozi makes something of it, and now we're on the counter. Hugill's got support. Goes wide to Adamson. Why are 7 people committing forward? I've put you all on defensive and support duties as Berek. In he goes. The whole team's forward. I'll forgive them because they've scored. Aaron Berek in. Adamson assist from the right. What a week it's been for him. And what a win that is for Southend United. We're starting to mix it with the big boys in the Premier League. And this is the perfect antidote for that cup defeat in midweek. Should have played Hugill that time. You don't make the same mistake twice though. Sheffield United 1, Southend United 3. Largely against the run of play for the most part. But we came to the 4 late on. And now, after nearly half of the Premier League season, we are in a fabulous position. The table looks like this after 16 games. We are 11 points behind the runaway leaders. I think we can call them champions already. But up in that mix with the top 6. And look at the gap to 7th. 12 points to Norwich. 13 to Liverpool with a game in hand. I can't see us finishing outside the top 6 if we have the festive period I expect. A brilliant season so far. And an absolutely fabulous response to midweek. Let's have a look at the schedule for when we're next going to be back. And also see how bad this Yukalano injury is. 3 to 4 weeks. It could be worse. Not ideal, but could be worse. We're going to be paying a lot of money to Wolves soon for Adamson, but if he's playing like he has the last 2 games, I'm very happy to do so. Ivanov could do with a rest. He might get it in midweek, depending on where we are. We have got 6 days off after, so then I might just give him a training break. Loads of chances created by Adamson. He's starting to become the player I hoped. The scout report's not finding much. A goalkeeper very much needed still. But overall, a very good episode. Yes, that wait for a domestic cup goes on. But this is about real progress in the Premier League now. Can we make that step to an elite club? Well, even with a few injuries, we've responded and we look like we might be able to do it. As we've mentioned, a very fortunate end to December on paper, a run of games we should be winning, but then an absolute nightmare January, and we are going to come back at the end of it. We're through in the Champions League, so I'm not going to worry about that too much. But we finished the month with Liverpool and transfer deadline day, and that could prove yet to be absolutely crucial. Liverpool could be closest to that top 6 if they get their win in that game in hand. So we'll come back for that unless there's any big news and stories in between. If you enjoyed this one, disappointment in a cup, but a decent performance and a great response away at Sheffield United, and please do put a thumbs up on it. Let me know if you think we can go on a run in the FA Cup where we've drawn championship opposition at home. Could we do something special in the Champions League? And can we stay in that top 6 and really start to earn our place as a super club in Premier League football? If you want to stay up to date and find out, subscribe and turn that notification bell on. We'll be back in a couple of days' time to finish our week of videos in style. But between now and then, It's a pretty big one tomorrow in the head coach. Two season-defining games that will determine whether it's ultimate success against all the odds or a frustrating end to a pretty terrible season. Come and join us for that one to make sure you don't miss it. There's also links in the eye above to the Twitch channel where we've got regular live streams and to the football podcast where we have got loads of prediction shows during the run-in, loads of playoff action to come. Come and join along, get involved in the prediction shows and just have a bit of fun with us. It's going to be brilliant for the next month or so. Action-packed over there, action-packed here, and I'll see you again next time. Thank you for watching. We'll be back for transfer deadline day in January.